Well, this is something.
So sometimes you're hungry, and for some reason, for some god-awful reason, you feel like reading a cooking manga that only makes you hungrier. And later you find that the food your body is craving is some gourmet shit you can't fuck off to the nearest Tesco's to get ingredients for. So you're reduced to drinking water and feeling sad about yourself. But hey, at least you're hydrated.
Or maybe you just like looking and learning about food. In other words, my analogy just meant fucking nothing and you're just like, what? Which is actually pretty understandable.
But admittedly, I do love me some cooking manga and frequently go on my way to find some. So over the years, I have found my top 10 favorite cooking manga that's underrated and deserves a little lovin's. Number 1 that I've chosen is Bambino. This is probably one of the more popular food mangas that are out there, and I'm sure if you've also been on my journey of cooking manga, that you have seen it quite a number of times. It follows the story of a chef called Shogoban who recently realized his dreams of becoming an Italian chef. The reason I really love this manga is not just because of the delicious Italian food that litters every page, but because of the main character himself. It's so obvious that he has such a big passion for cooking that it just really makes every page feel so wholesome. You watch him grow from an immature university student who just goes with the flow to a passionate chef who will do anything to achieve his dreams. And honestly, it is so contagious, it is so greatly written that even I sat there thinking, I'm like, should I be an Italian chef? But I think we know the answers. No. The Italian dishes shown are mostly dishes I've never heard of, but make me want to go out of my way to find because they're drawn and described with such vigor. There was a scene in the manga where Bon was a waiter and he described making the food with such intensity that honestly my mouth was just like, I honestly really love this manga and really recommend this to people who want a good story to go with brilliant cooking that it's good stuff. It's good stuff. The second I've chosen is Nobunaga no Chef. This is a manga I could reread and have reread various times. And no, this is not another Nobunaga main character spin-off. I honestly do not understand Japan's fascination with Nobunaga either. The story follows Kenichiro Ken, who's mysteriously sent back in time to the Sengoku period. He has lost all of his memories except the memories pertaining to dishes, which later made him realize that he was once a chef in modern-day Tokyo. Because of his awesome ability to make food, he caught the attention of Oda Nobunaga. This manga taught me dishes I didn't even know of, and it just sounds so appetizing. I literally just want to go outside and forage for things, make it, but that's stupid of me. Not only are the dishes amazing, but I also went into this learning more about Japanese history than I went into it thinking. There's so many twists and turns that it's so hard not to gush about it and throw spoilers in your face, but you know, just go read it. Just go do yourself a favor, just go read it. I highly recommend this to people who would not mind learning a bit about Japanese history, as well as just looking at the gorgeous dishes that are just oh. The third manga I chose is Dungeon Meshi, also known as Delicious in Dungeon. This manga is extremely popular in Japan that I truly do believe that it will become an anime sooner rather than later. It's set in a fantasy world where the main objective of our characters is to explore dungeons. And because of this, we are introduced to unorthodox dishes that are mainly used with the scavengings of plants and such, and also of monster meat. And although it may sound unappetizing, it still looks so oh. Not only does this really fun cooking draw you in, but it's also the comedic value of it. This manga not only gives you great pleasure in their dishes, but also has a healthy dose of comedy. It's kind of like an odd combination of starvation and like, not much can be said about Dungeon Meshi besides its creative use of dishes and its wonderful, humorous cast of characters. I truly recommend this if anybody wants a good comedy manga with a good little splash of yum food. The fourth manga on my list is a manga called Hell's Kitchen. It's a story about a chef named Gordon Ramsay who chooses a few more chefs to verbally abuse, but if they do good with their cooking skills, he gives them praise, thus giving him the title of top-tier tsundere. No, okay, I'm just obviously kidding because it's not this, but it's this! Although that is the title, it is actually about a high school kid named Satoru, who is later claimed by a demon named Dagma, who wishes to form Satoru into a pure chef, only to eat his soul in the future. Because supposedly he only eats the souls of pure chefs, it's a thing. So because of this, Satoru joins a prestigious cooking school in order to improve his skill, and damn,
is it interesting in its own way. It's kind of like the shokugeki kind of feel with its comedy, not as, you know, sexual. But it has the same kind of comedy and kind of rhythm and kind of like feel of it, I guess. Not only do I get to see some mouth-watering dishes, but I get to also learn more about how to become successful in the world of cooking, which is not easy. How good ingredients can drastically change the taste of a dish. How a knife can change the taste of a dish. It's like, what? Not to mention, like I said before, it's kind of like a shokugeki comedy where sometimes I'm like crying from laughter. Not really, but you get what I mean. It's like laugh crying because I want to eat the food, not, it's funny. It's funny, but I'm also hungry. So, yeah. The fifth manga I chose is called Cooking Papa. Cooking Papa is a long-running manga about a working father who just loves to cook. This manga is more about reading and learning how to cook rather than just reading for entertainment and good laughs. It's all mainly simple dishes with simple recipes that have the directions on how to make them, which I love. The dishes in the manga, at least, all look and sound superb. It's just, it's too bad I'm lazy as fuck. It's fairly straightforward with its premise, which is to get the viewers to try and cook and make the recipes themselves. So I recommend this to people who would like to add more recipes to their cookbook without even realizing that they're really doing it. I am simply adding this because it's the first manga I ever read, and it is the #1 reason of why I first started getting into cooking manga, and that is Kitchen Princess. It's a shoujo manga about a girl named Najika who goes to a prestigious cooking school in order to find her prince that helped her when she was a kid, who left a spoon by her. It was something, alright? The reason I really love this manga is not just because it was one of my first, and it was shoujo, which I loved when I was a kid, and it was great. But it's also because it contains one of the things that I still love in manga today, and that's how main characters resolve problems with skills that they have in unorthodox ways that make you feel wholesome. I won't dwell into this too much as it is very much extremely a shoujo manga, but if you don't care, I highly recommend it. It has impeccable dishes as well as the recipes that you can use to make them. So I highly recommend this to people who enjoy shoujo manga and also love to look at recipes that you can cook yourself, as it also contains details on how to make them too. The 7th manga I chose is called Michelin Star. Well, I say manga, but it's actually a manhwa? It might not count, but you know, it's such a good one that I'm gonna include it anyway. It begins with a restaurant being run by Unbi Park, whose father passed away and her cook recently just left, and she's essentially has no idea what to do. All the rest of her staff is just fucking about. They're not nearly as skilled as she thought they would be. That was until Taiwan Ryu, I might be murdering the name, Taiwan Ryu turns it around in hopes of making his own restaurant someday and in becoming the first restaurant in South Korea to have a Michelin star. Actually, upon writing this paragraph, I have started to reread it, and my skin is seeping cravings of French food. It's so well drawn. It's so... I'm craving it. But not only is the food, once again, so good, I also learned a lot more than I thought I would, as all these mangas seem to be impressing me with. It contains all the details of what's important to be a Michelin star restaurant, which, you know, obviously I knew wasn't easy, but I didn't know it was this fucking hard either. Maybe I'm just easily entertained because I know so few things. The 8th manga I chose is called Tondemo. It's a long name, actually. Let me just look at my laptop real quick. Tondemo skill de isekai horu meshi. And that's actually a really fucking long ass name, so I think I'm just gonna go with calling it Tondemo. Tondemo is a genre that we just can't seem to get enough of these days, and that is isekai. Alright, this is a long ass name as well. Muko Oda Tsuyoshi is accidentally summoned to a world of magic and thrust with the title of civilian. Well, that was a mouthful. I had to memorize that all at once. Trying to live his life in this new world, his only skill is being able to summon food from Net Supermarket, which is essentially an online Walmart. It's something, it's definitely unique. He uses his skill to order ingredients and cook delicious dishes, which catches the attention of a famous monster named Fel. It's a great manga for those who are really into adventure, and especially it's quite interesting to see this whole new world that we have no idea of, which is, I guess, is the entire appeal of isekai. The food is just basic Japanese dishes, but seeing the way that Fel eats them so enthusiastically and the way that they're drawn, it's just, oh my god,
It really gets me going.
You really get me going.
Lewd. The way the food is drawn just really makes me want to go to that world and eat it. Or, you know, maybe more realistically, just go to the supermarket and get ingredients and whatever. Or, you know, go to Japan. I would not be surprised if this does become an anime as well, as it is just quite interesting, and I'm calling it now. The 9th manga I chose is called Shinmai Shimai no Futari Gohan. Now, we all love cute girls, right? We all love cute girls who eat a lot and clearly enjoy the food they're eating. If not, then why is mukbang a thing? Shinai no Shimai no Futari Gohan is just that. Well, it's not mukbang, but it's just cute girls who enjoy cooking together and enjoy eating the food. Our main characters are newfound step-siblings whose parents just recently married and moved abroad. So, they are left to live together. Awkward at first, they soon become closer through cooking. I say with cooking, but it's not just some simple dishes like, oh, here's some spaghetti, but more like dishes with foie gras and like creme brulee and shit. Although there are sometimes simple dishes, it's more exotic ones that are made in the comfort of their own kitchen. I really love this manga, not just because I get to see fancy food in a not so fancy setting and just in the comfort of their own home, but it's really nice to see the growth that the siblings have for each other and the closeness they start to get. For some reason, it just makes me warm. If you're looking for an interesting manga with gourmet food, then I definitely recommend this one. I actually just came back from Tokyo a few days ago, and when I was at Akihabara, I remember seeing so many advertisements for this manga, so I would not be surprised at all if this does end up becoming an anime. And now the 10th manga I've chosen, which is Kuri Naru Shokutaku. I don't know if this really genuinely counts as like a cooking manga because it's mainly only about one dish, but I personally just really love this manga and I just feel like such a waste if I didn't include it. Sonizaki Yui's family runs a curry restaurant that is going out of business. But that is simply due to the fact her father runs off abroad in order to learn more cooking techniques for curry. At a loss, Yui is soon saved by the curry making master Koenji. When I first read this, I'd only ever tried Japanese curry, so it was very shocking to read this and find that there's so many different types of curry and it all sounded so delicious. The process of curry making isn't an easy one, and the amount of hardships the characters had to face in order to keep their restaurant is something that made this manga incredibly entertaining. You'd think you get bored of having the same dish always presented to you, but there's so much variety that it just makes you forget that it's just all simply just the same dish, which is curry. I truly recommend this manga for people who want a good long cooking manga that is truly addictive. Alright guys, that was my top 10 best underrated cooking manga that deserves more love. If you have some suggestions about how to improve this or anything, please leave it in the comments down below, as this was just something I've wanted to do and I'm not sure if I did it well. I probably mess up quite a lot, but I would love to know what you think. Thank you guys so much, and I can't wait to see you again next time. Bye!